Sevgili Geçmiş is an emotional Turkish family drama that revolves around secrets buried in the past, broken motherhood, sisterhood discovered too late, and the lifelong consequences of silence. Unlike typical romance-driven series, this story is built on identity, belonging, and emotional reconciliation. At its core, Sevgili Geçmiş asks a painful question. What happens when the truth arrives after a lifetime of lies? The story begins with three women who do not know each other, living completely different lives, unaware that they are connected by blood and fate. The first is Azra, a disciplined and emotionally guarded woman who believes in structure, responsibility, and control. She has spent her life suppressing her emotions in order to survive. Azra carries a deep sense of loneliness and feels abandoned, even though she cannot fully explain why. The second is İpek, more emotional and impulsive, someone who leads with her heart rather than logic. İpek is sensitive, idealistic, and deeply affected by emotional wounds. Her life has been shaped by disappointment, especially in relationships and family bonds. The third is Darren, the youngest, raised in a more privileged environment but emotionally unfulfilled. Though she appears confident and carefree, Darren struggles with identity and belonging. She feels disconnected from her past, as if something essential has always been missing. These three women have grown up separately, raised by different families, living under different names, and carrying different emotional scars. Their lives collide when each of them receives a mysterious letter. The letter is from Kahide, their biological mother, a woman who gave birth to all three but raised none of them together. In the letter, Kahide reveals a truth that shatters their understanding of themselves: they are sisters. This revelation changes everything. At first, disbelief and anger dominate. Each woman reacts differently. Azra responds with denial and emotional distance. İpek reacts with pain, confusion, and longing. Darren feels betrayed and lost, questioning her entire identity. The series slowly reveals why Kahide made the devastating choice to separate her daughters. Her past is filled with trauma, fear, and social pressure. She is not portrayed as a villain, but as a deeply flawed woman who made irreversible decisions under desperate circumstances. However, understanding her reasons does not erase the damage. As the sisters begin interacting, their differences create conflict. Years of separation have shaped them into strangers. Trust does not come naturally. Resentment simmers beneath every conversation. Each sister carries emotional wounds formed by abandonment, wounds they never knew the source of until now. The process of becoming a family is painful. They struggle with jealousy, insecurity, and emotional distance. Childhood memories, or the absence of them, become a source of grief. They mourn the years they lost, the bond they never had, and the lives that might have been different. Romantic relationships and secondary characters enter the story, but they never overshadow the central theme: sisterhood born from loss rather than shared memories. Men in their lives often reflect their emotional state. Some provide support, others deepen their wounds. Love, in this series, is complicated by unresolved trauma and fear of abandonment. Kahide's presence remains heavy throughout the story. Her attempts to reconnect with her daughters are met with resistance, anger, and emotional distance. Each daughter processes the truth differently. One seeks answers. One seeks emotional closure. One rejects forgiveness entirely. The series does not rush forgiveness. Instead, Sevgili Geçmiş focuses on emotional realism. Healing is slow, uneven, and often painful. The sisters fight, separate, and reunite repeatedly, mirroring the instability of their emotional world. As the story unfolds, long-hidden secrets surface, not only about their mother, but about the families who raised them. Lies told, for protection, are exposed as sources of deep emotional damage. The sisters must confront not only their biological past, but also the truth about the people they trusted. One of the strongest aspects of the series is its portrayal of motherhood. Kahide is neither fully condemned nor excused. The story asks whether intention matters more than consequence, and whether some wounds can ever truly heal. In the later part of the series, the sisters begin to redefine family on their own terms. Blood alone does not create closeness; shared pain, honesty, and effort do. They start learning how to be sisters as adults, awkwardly, imperfectly, and emotionally vulnerable. The climax of Sevgili Geçmiş is not dramatic violence or shock twists. It is emotional confrontation. Words long suppressed are finally spoken. Anger turns into grief, and grief slowly transforms into understanding. The ending is bittersweet but hopeful. Not everything is repaired. The past cannot be changed. Childhood cannot be returned. But something new is built, a fragile yet real bond based on truth rather than lies. The final message of Sevgili Geçmiş is quiet but powerful. The past never truly disappears. But facing it is the only way to move forward. And sometimes, family is not about shared beginnings, but shared healing. Sevgili Geçmiş is a story about loss, identity, and emotional courage. It does not promise perfect endings, only honest ones.